Let's just get into it this time.
I do be liking these. You drank the drink and you didn't say anything about it.
I like it. It's good.
You do like it?
Much better than the other one.
Okay, but like, what are your feelings on it?
I don't know. It's good. I like it.
What is it?
What does it taste like?
Like
it tastes
gin?
like alcohol.
Does it taste like gin more than anything else?
Yeah.
Or, okay. Do you taste the elderflower?
Yeah, a little.
Probably would have more if we had the tonic water that we don't have.
It's not bad.
It's very ginny.
Potter. Ginny Potter.
That's a good one.
It wouldn't be us if there wasn't a Harry Potter reference at least once.
I wish I had the tonic water for it. That would have made me happier.
I think it's really good. I could suck this down.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I must really like gin.
I love that for you. We're getting down a gin path.
It's tasty.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
Makes up for the one you really hated.
True story. That was bad.
Okay, it wasn't bad. I thought it was really good.
The aftertaste was shitty.
No, it wasn't. You just don't like simple syrup.
Well, it's still...
Alex said that it was bad, and then he drank the whole thing.
Well, it's alcohol.
That's true. I thought
We make him sound like an alcoholic.
I didn't do that. You did that.
He is not an alcoholic.
Does that make you think about the ASMR ear girl on...
No.
Oh. How about now?
No. Not at all. You gotta take it off and, like, put it in your mouth.
Oh, is that what she's doing with it?
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Hey, whatever gets the money in the bank, you know, and I'm not judging.
Right?
If I thought about it first, I would do that.
I mean...
I would never have thought about it, though. That never would have come to my mind, so she's more creative than me.
I thought about it.
You thought I'm going to make millions on Twitch by putting microphones in my mouth?
I could.
Okay, but you thought about it because she did it, and you saw her do it.
That was weird. They actually are, like, shaped like an ear.
That's interesting.
It's really fucking weird.
Whatever gets her money.
Yeah.
Girl boss. It's not called a boy boss. Fucking inequality.
Inequality.
Thank you. I didn't want to know what it looked like, and now I do. So
yeah, it's weird.
Thank you for that.
I'm surprised they don't make dick-shaped ones.
Do you know that they don't?
They should.
Have you looked it up?
No, but I haven't seen it, so I feel like they'd be capitalizing on it already.
Well, maybe you should make one, and then you have your Twitch aesthetic.
There it is.
You would make millions.
They're like, how do you make so much money? I'm like, I use my mouth.
I'm making sure I don't laugh to that because I just want it known how much you just laughed at your own joke.
I always laugh at my own jokes, though.
That's true, you do. That's fine.
All the time, because I think I'm hilarious. We take too long to get into these things.
No, it hasn't even been that long.
No, I know, but it
Some
adds up. Trust
some
me.
of that is definitely being cut. We're not going to talk about Alex being an alcoholic. That's offensive to alcoholics.
Are we going to talk about a dick-shaped microphone?
Because alcoholism is not a joke. I mean, yeah.
We're going to leave that in?
I think it's funny.
Oh, Lord. People are going to be like,
the only problem is, you know what, guys, though? Like, trademark. No one go and make those because that's a trademarked idea.
Yeah.
We're going to make those.
I'm going to make the dick-shaped microphones.
You can't have the idea. It's ours.
Right.
Unless it already exists, because we have not looked it up yet.
It probably does.
I feel like everything already exists. That's the problem with inventions. Okay, well, let's get back on topic.
I'm Meara.
I'm Morgan.
And we are
Mysteriosities. Yay.
You don't get to say it by yourself this time because it's not your birthday anymore.
I'm sorry. Do you want to do it again?
No.
Okay, then I definitely did it by myself. For the
I
most
said
part.
it to you.
You jumped in, but I carried it.
Yeah. Well, guess what, guys? This is the episode before we release.
We release tomorrow.
Tomorrow
at this time, they'll be on the internet.
It's a big deal.
They'll be out in the world.
That's why I'm sweating so bad.
Slow-forming anxiety.
I'll start clearing my throat, too. Breathing really heavy in the microphone.
All thinking about the fact that tomorrow this will be on the internet.
Yep.
Yay. I'm excited. I have to compile my social media pictures.
Yeah, I'll give you mine.
Okay.
So I have them saved on a Google Drive.
Wow, you're so organized.
I know, I am very organized.
I'm not.
Because it gives me anxiety.
To not be organized?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, kind of. Depends. When I'm trying to do something and do it well, then I like to be organized.
Proud of you. I have pictures on my phone, and then I think I deleted them because I got tired of looking at them, so I'm just going to have to go get them out of recently deleted.
Of the Jersey Devil?
Yeah.
Pizza Slice Boy?
Yeah, and Denver Airport stuff. I think
Yeah.
it's in my recently deleted still, too. I don't think it's deleted by now.
Probably not.
I'll just yank them out,
It's usually
post
like
them,
30
and delete
days.
them again.
I'm like sweating.
Okay.
And maybe it's the gin.
You.
It's probably the gin. I've drank half of it.
She likes it.
I do like it.
Good.
That sounded inappropriate.
Well, maybe you feel inappropriately about gin. I don't know your life.
Yeah.
That's fair. Are we starting?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. What are we doing? What are you
So-
talking about? I already know, but I'll pretend to be surprised.
Yeah, because I'm the only one that doesn't keep secrets.
That's not even true.
I only did the one time.
Okay, fine. Maybe
You knew the other ones.
I just like secrets.
Secrets are no fun.
That song is a lie. I don't believe that. I don't like that song. I don't believe in it. Secrets are fun.
I hate secrets, so...
I love them.
So we're doing another conspiracy theory today.
Good. I love
And it's a historical conspiracy theory.
Good. I love historical conspiracy theories.
So it's about John Wilkes Booth.
Okay.
Did he actually get killed 12 days after doing the Lincoln assassination?
Do you want to know what's funny?
What?
I don't think I knew that he got killed after.
Yeah, 12 days.
I don't think I knew that. I don't know. Maybe I did.
Well, maybe you are one of the conspiracy theorists.
Okay. Well, maybe I am. I'll find out, I guess.
So I can give you a little background on the Lincoln assassination. It happened on Good Friday, April 14th of 1865.
Oh, that's only 11 days away.
Yeah, so it's kind of relevant.
It's like almost the anniversary.
I didn't do that on purpose.
I know. You didn't have that much forethought.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be like your first episode, but then it wasn't.
No, it was my second episode.
Well, you
But
know what
anyway.
I mean. It got pushed back is my point.
Anyway, so basically the play that was happening is called Our American Cousin. So that is the play that Lincoln was watching when he was assassinated.
In his fancy little, what is it called?
Booth.
Booth.
No pun intended.
Not you just. Not you just going, ha ha ha.
Listen,
His name's Booth. He was in a booth.
it was right there. I had to take it.
There's like, who should assassinate Lincoln? Oh, I don't know. Do you know anyone named Booth? Because he's going to be in a booth, and wouldn't that be really ironic?
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, let me call my friend.
Isn't it ironic?
Oh, my God. His name is Booth. He can kill him in a booth. Everyone will laugh about it for years to come.
I don't think people laughed.
You
about it.
just did.
Well, because I had to. I made the joke.
Please continue.
Okay, so John Wilkes Booth was only 26 when he assassinated Lincoln. I don't know why, but I always pictured him being like a 40-year-old man.
I was going to say, he's vibing to me as like 47.
Yeah, but he was 26. And he was a well-known stage actor. Did you know that? Because I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so he knew the play forwards and backwards. Like, he memorized it. So he knew the perfect time to go in to shoot Lincoln because he was going to wait for a laugh scene. So it was quiet.
I was going to ask you what was the perfect moment, and he decided to laugh scene?
Yeah, because, I mean, that's when people are the loudest. People aren't going to be the loudest when they cry.
Well, what about when they're clapping?
That's at the end. Then he wouldn't have a lot of time to get out.
People clap at other times.
Rarely.
Not rarely. People clap after every song in musicals now.
That's true. You're not wrong. But this was a play. So it's not like they were like performing songs.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like in Hamilton, my favorite, when they're like, immigrants, we get the job done, and everybody claps.
Yeah, there's always little
That's
clappy,
great.
little clappy
Anyway.
moments.
Shout out to Lin-Manuel Miranda. Anyway,
Hi, Lynn. I love you.
we all love you. So Booth was also friends with the owner of the Ford Theater, which is where this all took place. So he knew the inside of that theater, like inside and out. He knew it. He memorized it just like he did the play. So he was the perfect person to...
Did someone let him in? Conspiracy theory. Was he in on it? Bum, bum.
Who?
The guy
Ford?
who owns the theater.
Oh, I don't know. He could have been.
Who let him in? How'd he get in?
Well, I mean, they didn't know that he was going to shoot Lincoln.
Oh, did he have a ticket?
Probably. I mean, he was an actor, too, so...
I wonder if he had a ticket.
He was really famous. So anyway, Lincoln usually traveled with 1 or 2 guards, but it just so happened that night there was supposed to be a guard outside the box door that he was in, but he left to get drinks with a friend.
Fired.
Can you imagine being that guy and you're like, oh, shit.
I think it's wild, too, like, that he had, like, 2, and now they probably have, like, 10.
Right.
They just have so
more than that, probably. I mean, they have, like, the actual suited guys, but then they have, like, the undercover guys, too. So it's, like, insane. Like, Trump probably had so many.
It's like my date
because everybody
with the
hated him.
Daughter.
What?
Did you ever see that movie?
With the guy from Boy Meets World?
Yeah.
Yeah. Disney Channel. Love it.
My Date with the President's Daughter.
Yeah.
Iconic film.
Iconic film.
Iconic.
Or Chasing Liberty.
Or First Daughter.
Yeah. Have you seen Chasing Liberty?
No. Have you seen First Daughter?
Is that Katie Holmes?
Yeah.
Why have I seen all these movies?
I don't
know. Chasing Liberty's with Mandy Moore.
I don't think I saw that one.
It's good.
I just saw... Of course you do, because you still own DVDs.
Judge me.
I am judging you.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
So anyway, when it was time, he just had to walk up to the box. The door was unlocked. He just walked right up in there and shot him. Just boom.
Well, I wonder what he would have done if there was a guard outside. Shot him too? Like, but then you'd lose the element of surprise.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I wonder if...
And they said the weapon that he used was a .44 caliber Derringer, which was a single shot weapon.
Oh, yeah, so like reloading would have been
right
an issue. So I really wonder what he would have done if there was a guard out there.
But here you go. He carried a knife as backup.
Oh, so maybe he would have gone...
So it's like Call of Duty when you like pick your backup weapon, you know?
Well, I really hated that reference.
I'm just saying. I watched Cameron play it, and... That's what happens.
I've
tried to play it, and I'm not good.
A backup knife?
Anyway, yeah, he had a backup knife. So anyway, Booth stabbed a military officer who tried to stop him as he leapt from the box to the stage after shooting Lincoln.
I didn't know that he did that.
Which was an 11-foot drop. He broke his leg when he did that. Just FYI.
I wonder why he was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to jump instead of going out the door.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe is it for drama? Was he just like, I want to be so dramatic?
I feel like, okay, so here's my thought. So you think about a theater, right?
I'm thinking.
And you think about the boxes. So you have to get upstairs to get to the boxes.
Yes.
So like he would have shot Lincoln. People would have known. So then he would have had to go through a whole crowd of people, you know, rather just him jumping. People are still like, what the fuck just happened? And then he runs out the door, you know. That's my thought process. But
I don't know. I feel like the 11-foot drop would make me feel like the stairs might be a better idea.
I don't know. Maybe he wanted to feel like Batman.
Well, he's not Batman.
He was a superhero in his own
He doesn't look anything like Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Why is that funny?
I like Christian Bale better. But anyway.
Okay, look. Okay, if we're going to go into that debate, I think I also like Christian Bale better.
See. Okay.
But I've said this before. I just feel like, I just feel like him being like a loner, like he was in the new one. He's a billionaire loner whose parents died. If you're like, who's Batman? You're going to be like, it's that guy. The loner billionaire who never comes out. It's him. But Christian Bale's Batman was like billionaire playboy, you know. He was like on boats and like he always had so many ladies and he had like Lamborghinis. He was like, you're not going to be like, it's that guy because he's fucking it up with like Playboy buddies. You know what I mean?
Where is she?
I hate you. Okay.
Anyway.
That's all I wanted to say.
So after he shot him, I don't know. I picture him saying this when he jumps off the balcony because it's just funny.
Oh, like as he's
But he yells,
jumping?
"Sic semper tyrannis," which means thus always to tyrants.
Yeah.
And so I just picture him like jumping off the balcony and saying that. I don't know. It just seems
I feel
more...
like he probably says it when he lands.
Maybe. I just think it's more
like
dramatic. And he was a dramatic actor, so...
I just feel like you're jumping off of an 11-foot drop. You're probably like...
He probably had...
Crash.
He probably had a cape.
I don't think he had a cape.
Yeah, maybe. But those little things like back in the 1800s that you tie around your neck.
A cloak?
And you're like, yeah, but it looks like a cape.
Yeah, but it's a cloak.
Okay, so he had a cloak that looked like a cape.
I don't think he had a cloak.
So he was Batman.
It was April. He didn't have a cloak.
Okay, anyway.
He had a light jacket.
Here's some stories about things that could have happened. Okay. So Joanne Hume, she was a distant relative of Booth, claims that her mother shared the truth about how Booth died. And she said that he lived for many years after. Okay.
Okay, wait, but like...
Do you want to know what happened first?
Yeah, can you tell me what happened? Because
Yeah.
I apparently missed that lesson in history class.
Yeah, so after he jumped off the balcony and said his shit that he did.
Yeah, and ran away in his light
Seek Semper
jacket.
Tyrannis.
He ran away in his light jacket.
In his light jacket.
Good, I'm glad you could see that he's not wearing a cloak.
He fled on horseback across Maryland and Virginia.
Okay.
It said that he traveled 14 miles over 2 hours, only pausing to collect hidden weapons and supplies from the Surratt house. The Surratt house was owned by Mary Surratt, and she actually became the first woman that was hanged in the U.S. by the U.S. government.
Because she was in on it.
Because she was convicted of being a conspirator in the Lincoln assassination.
And they said, off with your
And
head.
the Surratt house was known for being a Civil War safe house for agents of the Confederate underground.
Okay.
So she was killed for that. Poor Mary.
Bye, Mary. Maybe you shouldn't kill Abe like that.
Poor Abe. But anyway, the Surratt house was like known for being like a tavern, and people would stay there sometimes, and just kind of like an all-purpose house. I'm thinking of like the prancing pony from Lord of the Rings, you know.
No, because I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Okay, well, never mind.
You need to work on your references.
It's not my fault. You have bad taste. Did I say that out loud?
Shut the fuck up.
So apparently they said that he stopped and was bragging about killing Lincoln too. So people are like, what the heck? You know.
What a
Yeah.
fuck boy.
So after leaving the Surratt house, him and his friend traveled to Waldorf, Maryland. And it took them 2 hours longer to get there because Booth's broken leg.
Yeah, that'd do it. I can't imagine horseback riding with a broken leg.
Yeah, that doesn't sound nice.
No, not even a little bit.
So he went to the Garrett farm, which was near Port Royal, Virginia. That's where he ended up stopping. A doctor set his leg there.
And then he got hanged.
No. Dr.
Okay.
Samuel Mudd set his leg. And they say, like, it's actually not true. But a lot of people like to say that the phrase, like, your name is Mudd or whatever, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
They say that that's where that came from, but really, it's not true.
Why? Because he set the leg of the guy who killed Lincoln,
Yeah.
and then his reputation
Yeah.
was ruined.
So, like, you're a dick.
That could be true.
So, anyway, the Garrett farm was owned by Richard Garrett, and he got bad vibes from Booth and his friend, and he's like, okay, you're not staying in my house because I have a family, but you can hang out in the barn for a while. So they hung out there.
Vibes elsewhere.
Right? So, anyway, I was not very organized when I did my notes for this one.
Sometimes it's just chaos, and that's just the way it has to be.
So, anyway, Booth and David Harold was his friend, which was a confidant and fellow Confederate sympathizer. So they're the ones that traveled, and they went to the Garrett farm. Whatever.
Okay, so he was traveling with a bro.
He had a $100,000 price on his head, which it is equivalent to $1.7 million today. So, I mean, they were really trying to get Booth. They're like, he killed our president, you know.
You know what's
important.
wild
This
is
is important.
that's not as much as the amount that that President Biden wants to raise the Pentagon's budget to.
Oh.
So I'm glad that the military is more important than the president.
It's supposed to be balance of checks and balances, So the president can't be more important than, has to be equal.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
With the 3 branches. You want me to go into social studies
No, get
lesson?
out before we start doing social studies. I don't want to.
Okay, anyway. So they arrived at Port Royal, Virginia at Garrett's farm on April 24th. And common beliefs say that he was killed there 2 nights later by Union soldiers. But others believe he was never there. And if he was, it was a short stay.
Ow.
See, you just did the same thing I did, and you said I can't work machinery because you're messing around with your damn headphones.
I'm messing around with my headphones because they're really hurting my ears today, and I don't know why.
Maybe you have the ones that I usually use. Because mine bother me too, but today I'm awfully comfy.
Great.
Anyway.
I'm gonna put my name on those when you leave.
Yeah. Morgie. So, also during this time, Booth started assuming a new identity. So, he shaved his mustache.
Uh-oh, no more mustache.
No more mustache. And they said he possibly colored his hair. But we don't know.
We don't know.
Use that Revlon.
He said, let me get my bleach out. Give me some gloves.
For men.
Let me head on down to Walgreens and check out my color selection.
So,
I'm thinking a nice midnight black.
His hair was already black.
Oh, I'm thinking about a nice sandy blonde. Oh, dark burgundy. Strawberry blonde. That's all I have. I don't have anything else.
Joan Chaconis. She's a Lincoln assassination scholar. So
wow,
that's
what a
she,
job.
Right? She does this for a living. It's pretty cool. All that research. She said 26 Union soldiers surrounded the barn. And then Harold got nervous, which was his friend that was with him.
The bro.
And wanted to surrender. But Booth was like, no, we're not surrendering. So he's like, get out of here. So he kicked Harold out. And Harold was the one that was taken into custody. So
Harold.
They demand that Booth surrender, and he's like, nah, I'm not doing it. And the soldiers set the barn on fire. So poor Garrett, whose barn just got...
Garrett's like, that's my barn.
Right.
Y'all gonna do a barn raising for me now, or what?
Barn raising. Bring the Amish. That's what they do.
I'm sure other people also raise barns as well.
Not like... They make that an event, though. It's really cool.
I know, that is really cool.
So anyway, they set fire to the barn, and then they shoot him, hitting him in the back of the neck. They drag him out. But then Harold was asked who it was, and Harold was like, oh, his name's Boyd. That's not Booth. Weird.
Ooh, weird.
Okay, so here we go. So what does that mean, right? Why would he say it? So he has nothing to gain from it. Because he's already in custody, so why would he lie? Because they could figure it out, right?
Right.
So they ask, Joan Chaconis asked, like, does this mean it could have been a patsy? Which means a person easily taken advantage of that can be blamed for something.
Wow, I knew what a patsy was. I can't believe it.
Well, maybe you do, but maybe our listeners don't. So I'm just educating.
They're smart AF.
Okay, sorry. I don't want to patronize you guys. Be condescending to your intelligence.
They're intelligent as fuck.
Okay. Thank you for being intelligent. You are valued.
And if you didn't know what patsy meant, it's okay. Just pretend you do. We totally got her. We totally got her.
You're so weird. Anyway, there's speculation that the body didn't even look like Booth after he was shot.
Well, he was in a fire.
Well, I mean, he didn't. He didn't, like, catch on fire. It was just the barn. Takes some time. You know, they got him out. So, who's Boyd that Harold was talking about? His service record said Captain James W. Boyd. He was a Confederate soldier in the 6th Tennessee Infantry, and he was a Union prisoner of war.
Oh, so he, like, low-key did exist.
Yeah. He did exist.
So it's not like it was like his new identity or something.
Right. So then Edwin Stanton, which was Lincoln's Secretary of War, who was known to have butted heads with Lincoln a lot. Like, they were completely different people. He, a lot of people say, was involved in the conspiracy because they're like, he did some shady shit that just didn't make sense.
Involved in the conspiracy?
Yeah.
Or involved in the assassination?
In the assassination. So he was a part of the conspiracy.
Oh, like the different definition of the word conspiracy.
Right. So he transferred this guy to D.C. Okay. Boyd was a Union spy whose job was to inform the North about Confederate smuggling in Tennessee. So did Stanton transfer Boyd to make him the fall guy to save Booth because he was involved in the assassination plot?
Ooh.
Ooh, love a good government conspiracy theory. So, and also, his paper trail just disappears after February 15th, 1865. Boyd.
65?
So that's when supposedly he was killed. Booth was killed in 1865. But his paper trail was, like, Boyd's was gone after 1865. So that's why people were thinking he was the one that was actually killed and not Booth.
Okay, so yeah, so he just had no trail after that, like he was dead.
Right. Weird. So, and in the National Archives, there's a photo of Boyd who has an uncanny resemblance to Booth, except for his hair.
Because his hair was a nice sandy auburn.
They were saying, actually, they said that he had reddish hair. So,
wow,
you were pretty close.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, I know my Revlon.
So, like, they were saying if Stanton was involved in this and he wanted to cover up that Booth did it, or, like, cover up that Booth got away, he needed a body. So, Boyd was the guy. So, anyway, Nathan Orleweck, who is a Booth researcher, says it's impossible it was Booth because there were 3 different witnesses that said the man killed had reddish hair when Booth had jet black hair.
But I thought he dyed it.
He did dye it. So that's where you're kind of like, did he or didn't he? You know?
Oh.
But did he dye it to look like that guy? You know?
True.
And Dr. May, who was Booth's actual family physician, he said that the body that was recovered looked older than what Booth would have been, and it was freckled, whereas Booth wasn't. Interesting.
Freckles.
That'll
do it.
Yeah. So he believes, Nathan Orleweck, rather, believes that Booth left 2 days before the Union soldiers got to the barn, and Boyd was there instead.
Okay.
He thinks that the reason why it was in everyone's best interest if Booth was the one that was, you know, in air quotes, killed, was the reward money was too high. So they couldn't afford to, you know, pay anybody who got him, right?
Fair.
The political pressure was insane at the time. The country was in chaos at this time, and the war was over, but the Confederacy was still alive. And the Secretary of State, Edwin Stanton, was under severe pressure to bring Lincoln's assassin to justice. So he's like, why don't I just place a lookalike at the farm and blame him for it? And it was Booth. Easy.
Done.
Easy peasy. So one of the most compelling pieces of evidence comes from John P. Simonton, who served at the office of the Judge Advocate General of the War Department for 43 years. He states that he studied the evidence and found no definite proof that Booth was captured. So there's all of these things that Jan Herman, a naval historian, she found. She studied the autopsy records of Booth. So when he was brought from the farm to the USS Montauk, which was a Monitor-class ironclad ship,
Ooh.
13 people present were all connected to the War Department. Who was in charge of the War Department? Stanton. Okay.
That boy Stanton. We can't trust him.
including the photographer that was hired by him.
Oh.
One photo was taken of the body, and the negative was given to a detective who then gave it to Stanton as soon as it was snapped.
He's in his pocket.
Sketchy.
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 That's so sketchy.
So sketchy. I'm going to make that a word.
It's a word now.
Sketchy.
Sketchy.
I really like it.
Sketchy AF.
Yeah. It's like a more intense sketchy.
Yeah, it's not just sketchy. Like, sketchy is sketchy. No, it's sketchy, y'all.
Sketchy.
It's so sketchy of him
like
to hire a photographer.
I just did that. Anyway, Herman believes that the negative was lost on purpose.
Well, yeah, there's only one.
And Booth's family was not allowed to see the body.
Sketchy.
Sketchy. Really sketchy.
That's sketchy.
And then the other Lincoln assassin conspirators were also prisoner on the ship, but none of them were used to identify Booth's body. Why?
Because it wasn't him.
Because it wasn't him. Okay. Dr. May was pressured to sign off on it being Booth because he didn't want to risk being associated with the assassination. So he's like, okay, I'll just say this and then get it out of my hair, if he had hair.
He might not have had hair, to be honest.
I don't know what he looked like. During the autopsy, this is weird. I'm like, why? A piece of cervical vertebrae and small section of the spinal cord was removed. These are currently in the National Museum of Health and Medicine in Maryland. So this dude's spine is just fucking sitting in this museum.
That's a little weird, but okay.
That's so weird. I'm like, why?
It's like, let me go to this museum. I really want to look at a spine.
John Wilkes Booth's spine.
Yeah, his spine was the spine that was inside his body when he shot the president. So that's, it's
important.
It's an important piece of the puzzle there.
But it actually is kind of important because Herman states that if you compare samples of that DNA with the DNA taken from a partial exhumation of Edwin Booth, which was his brother, you could actually see if it was Booth who was killed at Garrett's farm.
And did they do that?
No.
What? Let's break into the
So
museum
courts just need to allow like the full exhumation of Edwin's body.
No, let's dig him up.
Right, that's what
National treasure. I'll be Riley.
Okay.
I love Riley. He's my favorite.
Same. He's funny.
He goes, it's a giant blue-green man.
So Booth's family petitioned in 1994 to have his body exhumed and DNA tested against Edwin's. And the state's attorney in Baltimore City was like, yeah, sure, go ahead and do it. But then someone appealed the decision and it went before a judge. And the judge was like, nah, we're not doing it. And
the
why?
The judge is in his pocket.
The alleged... So these were the reasons given for not exhuming the body.
Because he's in his pocket.
The alleged remains of Booth were buried in an unknown location.
Okay.
3 infant siblings were buried on top of Booth's remains, which was really weird. Were they just trying to save money?
And they were like, no, we can't move over 3 feet. We have to do it right here.
So that was weird. And it may have suffered from water damage. So they're like, there'd be no point.
May have, there's not definitely.
No dental records available for comparison. But there's DNA, you dummy.
Yeah, there's a spine piece in a museum. Come on.
I like how you said that. Museum. Like sketchy.
What do you mean?
Museum?
There's nothing wrong with saying museum.
Museum. That's actually like that better because it's kind of fancy. And museums are fancy. Anyway. And the judge was like, plus, it's not a convincing enough reason to exhume the body.
Yeah, it is.
So here's another example of those judges that you just love, Morgan.
I just like it when judges are nice people with cool little one-liners and not people who are like, nah, we don't need to see if this is the guy who killed Abraham Lincoln.
He's like everybody's favorite president. Not everybody's, but a lot of people's.
He's a lot of people's fave, I think.
Yeah, fave Abe.
That It was the stupidest thing you've ever said.
Was it? Because I said some pretty stupid things.
Fave Abe?
Yeah. It just had a flare.
It didn't.
I thought it had a flare. Okay. Better than dick microphones, but anyway.
That's not even true, and you're the one that wants to be a millionaire from them.
It's true.
Yeah, so don't talk shit about them. I'll copyright the idea by myself.
Fine. Do it.
Fine.
And I'll just use them.
Not without my permission.
Okay, so if Booth didn't die, where did he go? So this is where things get really interesting.
Ooh, where did he go?
So he had 2 possible aliases, and these were the ones with the most credibility coming from historians.
Okay.
John St. Helen.
Okay.
So Dr. Arthur Ben Chitty was a historiographer at University of the South. He believed that Booth used John St. Helen as an alias. And then
you know what they say about people with 3 names.
So then Dr. Chitty passed his... I just keep thinking, Chitty, Chitty, bang, bang, Chitty, Chitty,
my God.
bang.
You know how much he probably got that in his life? Was
Probably.
that around yet? That's old, right?
I don't know. I mean, it's old. It has Dick Van Dyke. I love him.
Maybe it's not that old then.
Anyway, so he passed on his legacy to his daughter upon his death. So then she, kind of is the one who kind of put this stuff out there, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So they said that Booth arrived in Franklin County, Tennessee, not Ohio.
Why are you trying to,
tell everybody where we live?
Yeah, what's that? Why are we trying to triangulate our location like that?
It's fine. Most of the people that are fans of us right now know where we live.
I like to keep my location undisclosed.
I mean, did I say Franklin County, Ohio? I meant
Franklin County, Tennessee.
Franklin County, Tennessee. We are there.
Oh, wow.
So, anyway.
We lost our editor. He left.
He left.
He left the room.
He got annoyed with my chitty chitty bang bang.
Well, now we're just a rogue. We can do whatever the fuck we want now. We're uncaged.
Not to be confused with Nick Cage.
Shut the fuck up, dude. I hate you for that.
I had to mention him because we mention him every episode.
Why do we need to mention him every episode?
I did cut the bit out of the last episode about Nick Cage, though.
Okay, how can you say we mentioned him every episode and then be like, I got rid of it?
Well, because I'm just giving the people what they want.
Which is no more Nick Cage?
My dumbass references.
You're the only one that wants those.
I know, it's true.
That's not true. They're pretty funny sometimes.
Sometimes, that's the key word.
Yes, sometimes.
So anyway, 1872, he was in Franklin County, Tennessee, and he ended up falling in love with this local girl named Louisa Payne. He didn't tell her his real name, which was John Wilkes Booth.
As one wouldn't.
He said,
were you.
John St. Helen. But eventually, after they were married, he told her and confessed that he was the one that assassinated Lincoln, but she wasn't fazed by that. She was pissed at him because they got married under the wrong name, and he didn't tell her his real name until after they were married. So I'm like, dude, this guy just shot this man, and you're like, that's fine, but you didn't tell me your real name.
Now I'm Saint Helen or whatever it is you said, and that's not even your name.
So really, I'm a Booth.
I'm a Booth. I changed all of my information. I changed my birth certificate. I changed my social security card. I changed my driver's license. I changed my Costco card. I mean, everything.
Yeah. Costco card.
Yeah.
Sam's Club.
Yeah.
All those.
All of those rewards cards.
AARP. No, she wasn't old enough for AARP.
AAA.
So anyway, they ended up getting remarried under his right name.
Oh.
Because she was like, this isn't valid. We're not doing this. We're getting married under your name.
But wasn't he dead?
Yeah. Air quotes dead, right? Because he was supposedly killed in 1865. But the Franklin County Courthouse, their marriage registry shows Booth's signature on February 24th, 1872.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
and then
weird.
90-year-old Juanita Keel, she was a living relative of Louisa Payne, and she said, my grandmother's sister married John Wilkes Booth. They were married before he told her. She also stated he went by the name John St. Helen until coming clean about his identity. Louisa moved back home after that and he didn't go with her. So she was just like, I miss my family. I'm going back home. So then he just kind of went off on his own. So then they... Allegedly.
Or he's dead.
So then another lady, Mary Bates Webby, granddaughter of Finis L. Bates, believes her grandfather was a confidant of Booth in Texas, but was calling himself John St. Helen. So he just went out to Texas.
As one does.
So they were buddies, and Bates heard that John St. Helen, a.k.a. John Wilkes Booth, was dying. So he sent for Bates to come and see him. And on his deathbed, he confessed to him, saying that he was actually the one who assassinated Lincoln. But then he didn't end up dying. He actually lived.
Awkward.
And he moved to Enid, Oklahoma, going by a new alias, David E. George.
As one has to do when one does a deathbed confession and then lives.
Right. He's like,
well, I blew this alias. I gotta go.
People are saying this could be like a code he came up with, because those were two of Booth's conspirators, David Harold and George E. Atzerodt. So, David George. Interesting.
Intriguing. I'm intrigued by that.
So then in 1903, Bates, who was his friend that listened to his deathbed confession, but he didn't die at that point.
Yes.
He saw an obituary in the paper for a man claiming to be Booth from Enid, Oklahoma, which would have made Booth 65 when he died.
Okay. Young. But I guess not young for then.
Not really that time, yeah. Bates saw where the body was waiting to be claimed, so he traveled and discovered it was his friend John St. Helen. Crazy part of this is David E. George, which was the name in the paper. Mm-hmm. This is where it gets confusing, because there's all these names. There's like a web of names.
Okay, I'm ready.
But David E. George in the paper, it was said that he committed suicide by drinking arsenic.
Okay.
Interesting. So the arsenic and the embalming fluids mummified his body. Okay, and this is where it gets really weird.
Okay.
I kind of love it.
Okay, I don't know if I'm ready.
So because no one else claimed the body, they just... This is so weird.
They ripped out his spinal cord and put it in a museum.
They just gave Bates the mummy. They're just like, here, you claimed him. This is yours now.
Okay.
And...
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I don't know.
And he tried to sell it multiple times, and offered it to Henry Ford for $1,000. And Henry Ford's like, nah, I don't want it. So then,
like, why are you trying to sell me a mummy? I don't know.
When Bates died, okay, his wife was left with this mummy. So she sold the mummy to a traveling circus. And it ended up traveling almost 50 years with this circus before vanishing in the early 1970s.
Oh, it vanished.
Yeah, nobody knows where it went.
Ooh.
Somebody probably just like, I'm so sick of this thing.
They just threw it in the river.
But John Wilkes Booth was just like, travel around in circus.
Theory.
Yeah, in theory.
Or it was another man.
So then, his second alias that they say it could have been was John B. Wilkes.
That's not a very good alias.
Well, he was actually a real dude.
Oh, okay, well, still.
So, Chuck Huppert, who is a Booth researcher, believes that John Wilkes Booth stole John B. Wilkes' identity.
Oh.
Wilkes was born in Sheffield, England in 1822, and Booth met him in Indiana at one point.
Okay.
They're probably like comparing names like, whoa, you're John B. Wilkes and I'm John Wilkes Booth. You know?
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
It's like John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. His name is my name too. Whenever you go out, the people always shout you, John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
I already did it. You don't need to do it again.
But then you get quieter, so I was...
Okay, we're not doing the whole fucking song here right now.
I always liked that song, so... Anyway.
Okay, thank you for letting me know.
once Booth stole this man's identity, they believe he traveled to India posing as Wilkes, where he remained until his death in 1883, which would have made him 45 if that was him.
Okay.
When he died. Huppert believes Wilkes returned to the U.S. in 1873, getting his photo taken looking identical to John Wilkes Booth.
With that midnight black hair.
Yeah, you know
and
it.
The mustache.
So Huppert uses the will left after Wilkes' death to further prove his point. Okay. Special bequests in the will were made to people who were friends and family of John Wilkes Booth.
Okay.
$25,000 to Ogarita Rosalie Wilkes, which is a terrible name, I think.
Rosalie is a pretty name.
Yeah, but Ogarita?
Ogarita is like...
Sounds like an ogre, like Shrek.
And then like Arita, like Margarita, but like Ogarita.
It's a ogre margarita. Anyway, that went weird. So, $25,000 to her. And in the will, in quotes, said, natural heir of my body.
Ooh.
So, Ogarita Rosalie Wilkes was the daughter of Booth's wife, Isola Mills Darcy Booth.
That's a long name.
Right. But, like, a lot of people didn't know that he was married to this lady because he wanted to maintain a bachelor image. So he kept his wife
selfish.
and family a secret. Yeah.
You know what? You don't just get to be you don't get to be a fuck boy, bro. Just because you're a stage actor.
Well, people say, like, there's reports that he was, like, a very handsome man.
Well, I don't care.
I know. Well, I'm just saying he was, like, a George Clooney of the time.
Well, I don't care.
Except George Clooney is classy AF.
George Clooney would never...
No.
Ever
I'm losing
jump
my
off
headphones.
jump out of a box and break his leg on a stage. He would roll and land on his feet. Roll. And then he would never have his wife just off to the side.
No.
To maintain
well,
a
he's
bachelor
also married
status.
to Amal, and she's beautiful.
You would never do that to Amal.
So then, $25,000 he left to Mary Louise Turner as, in quotes again, natural heir of my body. Mary Louise Turner was the daughter of Ella Turner, who was Booth's mistress during the time of the Lincoln assassination.
You would have a mistress.
So then another thing he left was $1,000 a year to Henry Johnson. And Henry Johnson was described in his will, in quotes, as a free Negro to whom I owe my very life. And it says that Henry Johnson was actually Booth's personal valet who escaped with Booth up to Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. Interesting. But the will was not signed, so there was no way to analyze and compare signatures. So that just made it a theory, and it couldn't be proven.
Yeah, and he could have just, like, known all those people, and he's gonna, like, I'm gonna fuck with people so hard. They're gonna think I'm John Wilkes Booth, but I'm not.
Maybe.
They're really gonna think that I am. It's gonna be such a, like, good laugh for me in the afterlife. I'm gonna be giggling up a storm. They're just gonna be so confused and baffled, and I'm just gonna think it's so funny.
Yeah.
Why were you checking your phone?
I just wanted to see if your mom texted, and she did.
She did?
Yeah.
What did she say?
Let's get dinner.
We're going. Okay, we need to hurry up. I gotta look cute.
Okay. Well, I'm done.
Oh.
Okay, bye, guys.
Okay.
We're on.
Okay.
We are.
Okay. Slow down.
So what do you think, though?
Okay, so that's it? That's the end?
That's the end.
Okay. This is so exciting. I don't know. Part of me is like, he died in the barn. Who had time to find another guy and put him in the barn?
Stanton. Edwin
there
Stanton.
Wasn't that much time, though. And then what was he? I don't know. I just think that that's weird. But if he was alive and he lived, then I feel like I like the second guy better.
Really? I like the first guy better.
I feel like I like the second guy better. Because the will.
I like the mummy part. That's why
I just think you
that
like
just
the
makes
mummy.
it for me.
The mummy is weird. That is definitely weird.
He's like in The Greatest Showman now.
He's like, if you look into the end of the credits, you'll see
John
mummy played by
Wilkes Booth.
I don't know. I mean, I like the first guy too, but I don't know. I like the Will.
I just love a good government conspiracy.
You know what? The government would do something like that.
They would.
Let's be real.
They would. That's why I did it, because it was interesting.
And
like, I feel like the points that were made were pretty valid. I mean, they did their research, these people.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Good job, researchers.
It was really their whole job title.
It was really interesting to read about, though.
I feel like it has to be when that's their whole job title, you know? They really know their stuff. They know what the fuck they're talking about.
And you can actually go to the Surratt house and tour it, and it's a museum now. Or, as Morgan would say, museum.
I just don't hear any discernible difference between those two pronunciations.
You're probably right, though, because I say words really weird. Like,
no, I mean, I don't know.
You say tour for tour.
Tour.
I just say tour.
I say tour.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
but
wait.
that yours is right and mine is not.
Is it, though? Because I just feel like now I'm really feeling like I just make words more extra than they need to be.
I don't know.
And I never thought about it. Now every time I say words, I'm going to be like, I think I overdid it.
I just always think about
Do you say syrup or syrup?
Syrup.
Okay, good. That's the right answer.
Okay.
I also say syrup.
You know what I say I know is not right?
What?
Say the word C-R-E-E-K.
Creek?
I say crick.
That took me so long to spell. For what reason? Why did that take me
I say crick.
I was trying to write it in my brain. I could not do that for some reason.
But I was also raised in Fairfield County.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee. I don't live in Ohio. But yeah.
Don't triangulate me. We don't. Where are we? Who knows?
So anyway.
Okay, so you like the first guy.
I like
the
first
second
guy.
I like that we have differing opinions.
Yeah, makes things interesting. I mean, I think everything was pretty cool. I just like reading about it in general. But
I
don't think he really died.
That's what I was about to ask you. So you do think that he didn't die?
Right. I think it was a plot. I think Stanton was involved, and he wanted to get the guy that assassinated Lincoln caught. I think he could have been involved in the whole assassination plot.
My problem is just if that guy, if he was in that barn, then he could have gotten him caught. So what do you mean? You know what I mean? Why bring in another guy? Or are you saying that by the time they got there, he was gone? So
he was thinking that he found out that he wasn't there or something, and then had that guy be the fall guy. I don't know. Who knows?
So you think he didn't die then?
I don't think he died.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick with the conspiracy.
Okay.
Maybe that makes me a simpleton, but
no, sometimes the conspiracy is the right answer.
Yeah.
I kind of am a little more undecided. Part of me is just like, nah, he probably died, and then another part of me is like, nah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a circus clown
in a traveling circus, and he's a mummy.
Yeah.
I think he's a mummy.
Or maybe he's that other guy. I don't know. That one is one of the ones where I'm like, I can't decide. But I do like the second thing more than the second guy more.
Yeah.
Because of the will.
Yeah. But it wasn't signed, so.
Yeah, but still.
Sketchy.
It knew things.
Sketchy. It's sketchy.
It's pretty high-key sketchy.
I want to get that on a t-shirt.
I like it.
High-key sketchy.
High-key sketchy to me.
Yeah.
I'm really cold.
I am not. I am feeling great.
That's because my air conditioning is on.
I know, and I'm not sweating anymore.
I did that for you.
I love it.
I know that you like to be cold.
I love to be cold. This weather is not for me.
What do you mean?
Anyway, okay. So that's it. And
yeah, so when you're listening to this, hopefully that means that you listened to the other 4 first, and now you've listened to all 5. So you can go onto our Instagram and see all of the images, and then you can post under this one and tell us what you think happened, because I like kind of want to know what people think.
Yeah, for sure.
Do they think he died in the barn? Do they think that he is a mummy? Do they think that he died and left a will? Like, what one? What team are you on? I might make a poll, actually. I love a good poll.
Yeah, I love a good poll.
I want to
know.
It's
a good idea.
I want to see what wins.
Yeah.
See if you or me, or, Abraham, because Abraham wins if he died in the barn. So are you Team Abe, Team Morgan, or Team Meara? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, too.
Because Abe wins if he died in the barn, for sure.
And also, I know some of our listeners are not fans of social media, so we have a Gmail if you want to email us. mysteriosities@gmail.com.
Oh yeah, I mean, totally, just email us. I've definitely never checked the email before, but that's because there's been no reason to, but I'll check it now.
I checked it last night because I got that clip sent to it.
That's
so
fair. You had to.
Yeah, I had to. But it reminded me, I'm like, well, people could email us.
I'm going to make our socials like better link to each other so that people can find.
Yeah. We can post
everything.
The links on our Buzzsprout too.
Yeah.
So yeah, just keep spreading the word for us, and if you think that you have friends or family that would like our topics or our stupid references, and by our, I mean my stupid references. I want
everybody to know that she talks about her references all the time.
I do, because
I went out to dinner and she talked about her references.
I was telling Blair
70% of the time.
And I told Shelby.
She really likes to hype up her references.
I do.
She doesn't compliment me.
I always compliment you.
I don't have references.
Baloney. Baloney.
Okay, it's enough.
All right. I have to get ready anyway, thank you for listening to us.
Yes, thank you. You're here. We're live. We're here. We're gonna keep being here.
Yeah.
Possibly every Sunday if this is what we're keeping up.
If we can keep it up, yeah.
So
sure thing.
That's what we're gonna try to do.
All right. And we are Mysteriosities.